was inevitable from the moment Verstappen decided to go for it.
Schumacher on the inside, he takes the place. Michael Schumacher overtakes Fernando Alonso. He goes straight on into the gravel trap. Can he keep the wheels spinning?
This is Jensen, still thinks he's driving for the team that finished first in the championship last year.
The Chinese Grand Prix, the first ever, is go! Look at that, Montoya diving out from the back. Barrichello goes to cover Raikkonen. Button's up well, but he's been passed by one Sauber and by a Renault. Terrible start for Jenson Button. The Sauber and the Renault side by side into turn one. The Renault on the inside, Massa in the Sauber gets a little nudge, and that allows Button through into fourth place. Rubens Barrichello leads then from Raikkonen. And everybody looks like they've got safely through. Button, though, still behind that Renault. Fast starting of Fernando Alonso.
That is worth millions to them, isn't it? And look at Massa coming back at Button and takes him. I thought Jensen really had been led off lightly by passing Massa, who's knocked out of shape. But Massa's just attacked straight away. Button back to fifth place then. Bad news for him.
Button hoping to find a way past here.
Yeah, he's much faster on the way out of the corners. Massa, I think, has got a bit of a front tyre problem. He's got a lot of understeer into the slower corners. I'm very much off message here, but this is not Herman Tilke's best racetrack in my view. The corners are too technical. It doesn't really, you can't flow, you can't attack. There's no payback, but he's getting payback now. He's got so much more grip on the exit of the slow corners and just punishes Massa, puts him out wide, and now he can get up and after Alonso.
Great racing by Jenson Button, always happy to put a pass on someone. Massa wants a piece of him though, under braking into the hairpin. Button resists without having to go too defensive. Look at Button at the back of your screens there. He's having a go at Alonso. Alonso goes defensive. Button will not have any of it. He's coming down the inside, whether Alonso likes it or not. A cracking move from the British Bulldog, Jenson Button. Here's Michael Schumacher then. This is a move on Christian Klien for what was 13th place. Oh, that was serious contact. Has it bent anything on the Ferrari?
To be honest, that was coming from about 100 metres out, Michael.
Christian Klien we saw hitting Michael Schumacher in the hairpin just a minute ago, and well, his car's certainly been damaged, as Michael's. Michael Schumacher, though, has been in the wars again. Martin, traction control related?
It does look like that, although he's now flying again, and you'd have to say, did the traction control just drop out there? Because it's unusual these days to see the rear wheels spinning like that.
Can the Ferrari power over the slipstream overhaul Ralph? He goes to the left, Ralph's down the inside. Michael's going to try and drive down the outside. A nonchalant little wave to him as he goes by. And is Ralph going to have another go?
He's just having fun. No, Ralph did not have a go, but Michael, that was great. The wave was great, wasn't it?
Kimi Raikkonen has dived into the pits from second place. He's making his third stop of the afternoon then. And crucially, of course, he's racing against Jenson Button and Rubens Barrichello. Button on a different strategy from Raikkonen and Barrichello. And let's see where Raikkonen comes out. Button has leapfrogged Kimi Raikkonen by doing a two-stop plan. And here's an incident between Coulthard and Ralf Schumacher.
Yes, DC really pushing his luck there. I think Ralf would have been busy watching the Renault, and Coulthard coming in quite late, and that would have surprised Ralf. It broken Ralph's rear suspension, which is why we saw him squirreling all over the place.
And Rubens Barrichello comes through to cross the start-finish line and win the first ever Chinese Grand Prix with almost a photo finish between Button and Raikkonen for second. Tremendous race. Top drives by Barrichello, Button and Raikkonen. But the biggest thumbs up of all today for the Shanghai track. It's given us a splendid race, and Formula One really feels like it belongs here already.
Interesting to see what's going to happen here, because remember in Malaysia 2 weeks ago, Lewis Hamilton charged through the field and then couldn't find a way past Adrian Sutil. Mercedes-powered Force India, but here comes Sebastian Vettel, and also coming down on the outside having a look is Lewis Hamilton. Sutil holds him. Double strike. Oh, and through comes Sutil. Or through goes Hamilton ahead of Sutil, but Vettel's coming back as well. So 2 places gained there by Lewis Hamilton. Sutil trying on the inside now of Vettel and regains the position.
So Vettel knocked his front wing. Hamilton with a double slipstream from the Force India and the Red Bull, plus the extra duck that we've been showing you, just sailed down that back straight and picked them off as they were busy fighting each other.
Mercedes power then fends off Renault power. Force India from Renault, from Red Bull.
This is a replay of how Hamilton took 2 places in one hairpin as Sutil and Vettel are busy fighting each other. He just took the grippy line up the inside, now does a new faster lap, 1:43.2, 2 seconds faster than the leaders.
If you look at Hamilton's pace, 1:38.8. Nico Hülkenberg 7th, lapping in the mid 1:37.
Oh, he's locked
Bottas
up.
locks
Bottas,
up.
Big lock up. Where does that leave him on the way out? And
Verstappen
no,
on the inside of Vettel, they have touched!
Max.
That was inevitable from the moment Verstappen decided to go for it. Kimi Raikkonen has managed to scoot past Lewis Hamilton by the looks of it, but Sebastian Vettel hit by Max Verstappen. Hülkenberg is now on his tail as well.
I don't think it was an opportunity. It was a day late and a dollar short before he stuck his nose in there.
You locked up and then just turned in very sharp.
I don't think I need to say anything here.
I'm afraid you've got to give that to Max.
Gaining down that back straight. Ricciardo goes for it from a long way back. This would be sensational if he makes it. And do you know what? He has made it. Daniel Ricciardo at one stage looked well out of this race.
This is close. He's much closer than he was to Hamilton.
Well, look, he's got the slipstream. He's going, and Sebastian Vettel is gone. Daniel Ricciardo is up into 2nd place. And that one was the easier move. Bottas covers it off, but he can't cover it off totally. Ricciardo somehow finds a gap there, and Valtteri Bottas gave him enough respect and enough room, and he squeezed through Daniel Ricciardo to take the lead at the Chinese Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo retired from 4 of the last 6 races. He had a turbo failure in practice. He very nearly missed out on qualifying. He has made every single opportunity that's come his way today. Ricciardo wins the Chinese Grand Prix.
56 laps then of the Chinese Grand Prix will get underway when the 5 lights go out. Alonso on your right, Fisichella on your left. The lights go out, Alonso accelerates away, Fisichella goes to cover behind him. Barrichello on the right, Button on the left. Which of those two will get into the first corner first? It's Barrichello with Button on the inside of Raikkonen, who tries to take both of them. He's taken Barrichello, and I think he may want to take Button as well. One of the BMWs is in trouble. Raikkonen still attacking.
Michael Schumacher, the fastest man on the circuit in the middle sector, up in P5, and
he's passed
Barrichello.
Michael Schumacher lines up Jenson Button and takes the place. Is Button going to try and take it back again? No, he doesn't. So Michael Schumacher up into 4th place.
Yeah, I suspect Michael turned the revs up because that was extremely easy.
In comes Michael Schumacher from 3rd place. He got to 19 seconds behind Alonso, but Renault have got some dramas communicating with their drivers at the moment. Ferrari need everything to work perfectly here to capitalise on any problems Renault may have.
Curiously though, and they don't change the front tyres either, they really basically want them to go bald to give them more grip as they head towards thinking about dry tyres.
He's taking a lot of pain at the moment, is Alonso. 26 to go to the finish, and you don't know what the conditions will be like for tyres. Schumacher on the inside, he takes the place. Michael Schumacher overtakes Fernando Alonso for 2nd place here, and now he sets up after Fisichella. Alonso comes back at him.
Yeah, Alonso just doesn't have the grip to pull moves like that off, and it's just going to hurt him.
He should have enough in his pocket here, Fisichella. He needs a good stop. Ted Kravitz.
Just watch the right rear, it's going on fine. Yeah, the guy, good work by Renault. And those intermediates are so good. But that's a really solid stop, 6.6 for Fisichella.
Where is Michael Schumacher? Is that him at the top of the screens? I believe it is. It's going to be close, but it's going to be in Fisichella's favour. Staying out the extra lap did work for him.
Now, but Michael's tyres are fully up to temperature. Fizzy will be doing the tippy-toe bit. And look, he's got him already. Michael Schumacher takes to the grass. Fisichella has no confidence to nail it. Schumacher waltzes past easily. Disaster for Renault.
Here he comes through the final corner. He started this Grand Prix in 6th place. What an absolutely phenomenal drive by Michael Schumacher. He was helped by mistakes by the Renault team, but it's given him the victory that gives him the lead in the World Championship. For the first time this season, Alonso finishes in 2nd place.
He's got to come in. I think he's got some delamination on that right rear tyre. Surely the team have seen that.
Well, we've seen this before as his teammate Fernando Alonso comes into view. Lewis Hamilton had tyre problems before in Turkey. It cost him a lot of points. It could cost him a handful of points and the possibility of walking away from this race as the world champion because his teammates sensed an opportunity here. Ted Kravitz, what have you got?
McLaren have seen that, but they're just waiting until they absolutely have to bring Lewis Hamilton in. They're also waiting, Hamilton's engineers, just waiting to see what Alonso does. As it now, they come into the pits, and whose tyres have they been preparing? No, it's Alonso's tyres. They've got Alonso's tyres out in the pit lane. This is very strange. We'll see what they do at the moment. It's the dry tyre that they should be on, because everybody who's come in to put Inters on again has gone much slower. And as you saw, Jenson Button is out there while Dry is doing a good job.
Thank you, Ted. Into the pits anyway comes Lewis Hamilton. He goes straight on into the gravel trap. Can he keep the wheels spinning? Can he get some momentum going? No, he can't. It's all going to get away from him. He's not allowed to get a push. He's in the pit lane. Need to get the rule book out here and see if he can get a push in the pit lane. He's trying to keep the engine running. It's all getting away from him here. Raikkonen, the marshals don't seem to want to help him. And well, the chance to leave here as the world champion seems to have gone away. He was struggling like mad on those tyres out there, and they didn't bring him in, the McLaren team, any earlier. And this is the result of it. It looks like it's all going to be over. The rear wheels are still turning. You can see that right rear is down to the canvas. And
I don't understand why when wide it doesn't look that slippery. The mechanics can't go down and help him. They're not allowed past the white line at the beginning of the pit lane. Ted.
Utter frustration and despair down here at McLaren. The guys at the back of the garage have got their hands on their heads. The tyres that they brought out were in Alonso's covers, but they got Lewis's tyres as well, so they were ready. They'd seen it. They got on the radio. It worked in the Nürburgring. Tell the marshals to actually push you, but it seems that the message just got lost in translation and couldn't let the Chinese marshals, but now they've got Alonso's tyres in the pit lane too. Distraught at McLaren here.
He walks into the team garage. See his reaction to his mechanics. He certainly can still do it. Plenty of different permutations and possibilities. The arm around the shoulder technique from Norbert Haug. Tremendous frustration, though, for Hamilton.
Sebastian Buemi headed down the back straight at the end of first practice. The Swiss applied the brakes as usual at over 190 miles per hour, only to see his front suspension wishbone completely give way, causing both his front wheels to come flying off in unison. Now utterly without control, Buemi was helpless as he headed down the Armco barrier towards the gravel trap, though despite his lack of front wheels, he can still be seen trying to steer the car from the onboard footage, before coming to a stop and walking away unscathed.
I think
They're going to stack them.
Right, well, this is putting a bit of pressure onto the pit crew then, who are out and ready and waiting. Grosjean comes into the pits for Haas as well for his second stop.
I wonder why they feel the need to take that risk of a double stack.
Well, they are double stacking because Bottas is coming into the pits as well and he's waiting, and they have got this absolutely spot on. Valtteri Bottas didn't have to slow down any more than he was required to with the 80 kilometres an hour speed limit. That was proper perfection. And this is the double stack stop for the Mercedes team. Medium tyres going on for Lewis Hamilton. Just when one went out, the other one's ready to come back in again. It was like a production line.
And the choreography of that is sensational. Of course, remembering you've got to get the right tyres on each car. If they went and put Bottas's tyres on Hamilton's car, they'd both be disqualified, and vice versa, they'd be disqualified. This is for P4. Jensen lines himself up and he tucks him up behind the back marker. Beautifully done. Barrichello comes in behind, hits Heidfeld, and Della Rosa's in there as well. Jensen made his way through, I think.
But the only reason he got through was because Heidfeld was savagely held up by the Honda, the Super Aguri Honda of Takuma Sato, and I think there will be words said about that, because there is no question that he completely held him up. Barrichello lost his nose and the place to Pedro Della Rosa, who finishes in 5th place, and Heidfeld waiting for him to finish across the line. I believe he's gone from 4th to 7th place.
It's round 19, the last race of Formula One's longest season. And for the final time in 2005, the cars make their way to the grid. The Constructors' title will be decided here, but Michael Schumacher and Ferrari will not be collecting any silverware today. Michael has plenty of time to reflect on what he calls their worst season in his 10 years with the team. Surely not! Michael didn't seem to notice the Minardi of Albers and drove right into him. The FIA will want to take another look at one of the most bizarre incidents of the year. The cars are wrecked nearly half an hour before the start of the race.
Michael Schumacher going to the grid. I am damaged the car. Do I need to come back to the pits for T-car?
Yes, please jump out and come to the box. We'll give you the T-car.
Albers follows his team's orders. Michael struggles to make his way round, but he too has to bail. The team wonder what happened and what to do next. Who'd have predicted so much excitement before the start?
Alonso, flying start there. Vettel now trying to dance his way past Mark Webber, coming through on the inside as they come up to turn 6. Webber still ahead. Button very close to Nico Rosberg. Massa very close also to Lewis Hamilton.
Big connection then at the back of the field.
4 cars there. Is that Liuzzi? Hulkenberg, De La Rosa maybe? Trying to pick that up. Yellow flags out. So it's Liuzzi, Kobayashi and Buemi. Oh, what a weekend he's had. Remember, he had that enormous accident on Friday when the 2 wheels just leapt off going down the back straight in practice.
Okay, so Liuzzi drops it under braking and the rear ends right over the top. And that's he sort of gearboxed himself into the side.
Here we go again.
The Sauber, he just drops it under braking as he pulls a downshift. And we're on board the Williams then, that sort of just finds its way around. Good driving. That's Hamilton and Vettel then, struggling around. So it's just a drive through. Vettel trying to come up the inside of Hamilton. I wonder if they're just burning already. Those intermediate tyres, they're designed to run at much cooler temperatures in wet conditions. And those pair are really struggling to get the power down.
Let's look at the lap time. So 151.3 for Rosberg.
Let's just see how Vettel does. He's got a bit less downforce than Webber on his Red Bull. How he does in the slipstream of the McLaren. As Alonso hasn't been given a penalty yet. Yes, he has. He's been given the drive-through now. So he can serve that in the next 3 laps, and he serves it now. Alonso coming straight through the pit lane. Ted.
The intermediate tyres have gone. They have burnt out. Lewis Hamilton put on the radio saying there's no more life in these left. I need to go back to slicks. Michael Schumacher was the first one to realise that and has come in. Now Fernando Alonso serving his penalty right now, and both Red Bulls about to come in this lap. The Red Bull guys are ready. We think the problem that delayed Mark Webber and ruined Vettel's race was a problem that actually the guns and the air wasn't supplied to them. But this is the Red Bull right in front of me now onto slicks. It's Vettel.
It's Sebastian Vettel, you're right, as Rosberg goes through with another fast lap. Jensen Button as well.
Another awful pit stop there for Vettel. And look at that, side by side.
Williams, isn't there as well?
Side by side, Hamilton and Vettel touching wheels.
That surely is going to be investigated by the stewards. That's extraordinary.
Here we go down the pit. So they're already racing into the pit lane, let alone out of it. So for the second time today, Hamilton's not on the racing circuit, and this is obviously before the stops. Vettel had an appalling stop. The right rear looked like it was sticking as well.
Here we go.
Well, to be honest, they both got released at exactly the same time.
Coming down the back straight is the man who has, I wouldn't say dominated the 2005 World Championship, because he certainly had to fight for it with Kimi Raikkonen all the way, but he wrapped up the world title in Brazil. And this ultra-important victory here in the final Grand Prix of the season means that Renault will win the Constructors' Championship as well. Fernando Alonso, number 7 victory of the season. He equals Kimi Raikkonen's tally for the year. He's won at the start, the middle, and the end of the season.
Yes! Brilliant, Fernando. Absolutely fantastic, mate. Absolutely brilliant job. Thanks from Renault.
Fernando, grazie per tutti.
We are the champions! We are the champions!
Stick to the day job, Fernando.
He's happy, Bunny, and so he should be. They've got the job done, haven't they? Raikkonen does a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix on the last lap. The lead came down to just 4 seconds.
Lights off.
Alexander Albon will start from the pit lane.
Please start. Use anti-deploy where you can to build up some shock. Engine 8 position 10 when you can for performance. Engine 8 position 10 when you can for performance.
Down the inside goes Alex Albon on Antonio Giovinazzi and takes 15th place as a result.
Mode 8 to build up some shock. Mode 8. Torque 1 in the pit lane, torque 1 in the pit lane. Focus braking in the pit box, hold the brakes. We will be fighting with Sainz on the pit exit.
Real shame he couldn't take part in qualifying, because it was looking like a contender for the top 10.
Okay, Alex, very good job. We are on a plan B. We are on plan B, you know the target. Good job, Alex. Keep looking after your tires.
And Alex Albon winning that battle quite comfortably.
Good job, Alex. Good job. P10, Alex. Great job. Really good race. Really good race. Good job on the tires.
Oof. Thanks, guys. Thank you for the hard work last night.
Alex Albon, 2 points finishes in a row from pit lane to 10th. Didn't he do well?
We expect him to dive up the pit lane, and so does Vettel. So Hamilton will lead the Grand Prix, but these two are going to come in and get themselves a fresh set of tyres for the undercut. Crucially though, if they don't have too much traffic when they drop back into the racetrack. And look at that, he's in the wrong pit.
He stopped in the wrong box. This is the battle of the teams here. 24 guys working the cars. And crucially, Sebastian Vettel gets away first. That was a terrible mistake there by Jenson Button.
How did he do
that? It's all dressed in blue. Button stopped at the wrong pit lane. This is Jensen, still thinks he's driving for the team that finished first in the championship last year. And he stopped, he completely stopped the car. He's like, okay, fill her up, Governor, and clean the screen, please. Oh, I'm at the wrong petrol station.
Lights out and away we go. Good start from Rosberg, good start from Ricciardo and also from Sebastian Vettel. Now Kimi Räikkönen, I should say. Vettel just under a bit of pressure from Bottas going through, almost contact there as Bottas has to go wide and Fiat slips in on the inside of the two Ferraris have crashed.
Yeah, and then more contact there as well. Chaotic first corner and it's Räikkönen off the road. The two Ferraris collected each other.
And Hamilton hit as well and damage to his front wing as Massa slews wide going through turn 3, lost his front wing. Lewis Hamilton, we're on board now, the front wing caught underneath the car as you can see, and that is going to be a very difficult job just to get back to the pits and to try and repair damage being caused on this opening lap. I didn't think Fiat came through like a madman, really.
No, I think Seb's going to have to take the rap for that. He then had contact on the other side as well.
Ricciardo getting past Rosberg by this stage. And then the two Ferraris trip over themselves. Perez and Hülkenberg tiptoe through. And as we go on board with Sebastian Vettel into this turn.
It was a bit of a wedge from that angle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, and there was the second clout then against the
that was Perez
India.
in the Force India. So Hamilton here is going to see a bit of debris coming at him that he can't avoid. Then Nasser getting out of the way of Räikkönen, cuts across and hits Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, so Nasser avoiding Räikkönen, which would have been probably unsighted to Lewis there. There's Seb Vettel and he can barely slow down in the pit lane. He's so anxious to get on with it because the speed limit, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yep.
The speed limit is now 50 miles. Now, I love that.
69 seasons, 33 different world champions. This is F1000 with millions of memories. It is F1000. And it's lights out, and away we go. Bottas ahead of Hamilton, who got away well. Hamilton scoots past Bottas on the inside. Vettel challenging on the outside. Charles Leclerc goes on the inside of Vettel. Hamilton leads Bottas, leads Leclerc, leads Vettel, leads Verstappen, and round the outside of Pierre Gasly comes Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault. But what a great start for Lewis Hamilton. For the first time this season, he's beaten his teammate off the line.
Well, it's a real Noah's Ark grid, wasn't it? 2 by 2 with the teams all the way through the top 10. And they've somehow managed to not connect with each other as they head down into turn 6. Great driving.
Sergio Perez very late on the brakes, gets ahead of Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault, and Fiat's gone into Norris, and they're out of the race, and Sainz has picked up damage as well. Lando Norris was hit by Danny Kvyat in the Toro Rosso. He's going to have to try and limp back to the pits if he can.
Kvyat connected with both McLarens. He got some oversteer, turned into the slide, hit the first McLaren, and that sent him into the second one. Kvyat getting out of shape and causing that incident.
Wide open at the back. Can he get anywhere close? We've seen them come together last year as Verstappen dived down the inside. He's going for it again. He locks up, gets ahead of Vettel. Vettel tries to fight him back again, and he gets pushed wide. Max Verstappen into the dirt. On the inside, Verstappen can't get ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Vettel fighting for his dear life. Kevin Magnussen ahead of Kimi Räikkönen. Räikkönen's going to try around the outside at the hairpin at turn 6, then switch back to the inside and get on the gas a little bit more cleanly. Has he got ahead of Kevin Magnussen? Yes, he has. Kimi Räikkönen back up into the points. Now there goes Valtteri Bottas then, started on pole in this race. He's been playing second fiddle to his teammate Lewis Hamilton ever since the start, and he's back ahead of Charles Leclerc, so goes back into second place in this race. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in the past. Lewis Hamilton on his way to a 6th Chinese Grand Prix victory. It's pretty much 6 of the best for Lewis Hamilton. Alain Prost waves the checkered flag. A 4-time world champion acknowledges a 5-time world champion winning the Chinese Grand Prix, and it is another 1-2 for Mercedes, the first team to get consecutive 1-2 finishes in the first 3 races of the season since Williams back in 1992. It looked relaxing from the outside for his performance though. Lewis Hamilton, a 75th Grand Prix win in his Formula One career, and picks up the winner's trophy here. And he and Valtteri Bottas extending their finishing streaks as well. 15 races in a row now that they have both finished. That's the longest active streak on the grid.